What's going on? So I have a story I want to tell. Now, this is a story that you don't really have to believe, but everything I'm going to say is absolutely true experience that happened to me. Um, Obviously, as I get into the story, you're going to see why I say it's hard to believe. But hey, I'm just going to tell the story. You believe what you want. But this is a story about how recently I believe I dreamt the future and predicted it. So, okay, what happened was me and my two roommates had bought tickets to go see Dave Chappelle in Hartford, Connecticut. We were really excited to go see him. Dave Chappelle's awesome. I'm a big fan. My roommates are big fans. So we were pretty excited. We got the tickets a good 2 months in advance. So we were ready to go. And so it got to the day before the show. I went to sleep that night, and I had a dream about going to the show. Okay, now this is how the dream went, okay? And another reason I wanted to make this is A, it's creepy. I find it really cool, the accuracy between the dream and what really happened. But I'm already kind of starting to forget. Like, I have vivid dreams, and I can remember them as soon as I wake up, and then I'll forget them within 15 minutes. There's a couple dreams, including this one, that I've been able to remember. It's been a good 2 months since the show, and I still remember it pretty clearly, but I'm starting to forget. So I want to get this recorded. Been too lazy to write it down. Plus, I thought it'd be easier to share it with you this way. But anyway, so basically, what happened in the dream is I get to the concert, and it's the comedy show, and I'm sitting like up at the back row, of the theater that was in my dream. And then I turn behind me, and there's just like an opening, and it was weird because I turn around to see Dave Chappelle there, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, "Hey, Dave, what's up? Oh, it's so awesome to meet you. This is great. Hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Yeah, hey, I gotta go backstage, prepare for my show. But hey, I hope you've been enjoying the acts beforehand." He's like, Incubus is coming on next. They're gonna play a couple songs, and then I'll be on. And I'm like, "Oh, that's great. I love Incubus. This is gonna be awesome." But even in the back of my mind, while I was dreaming, I was like, "This is awesome, but that's really fucking weird that they're gonna be playing songs at a comedy show." Like, I was like, what? Like, why is there a concert? Like, why is Incubus playing at a comedy show where there's a bunch of comedians performing? And I was like, fuck it, it's cool, whatever. But then, like, one of my friends that I was gonna be, or that I work with, that was going to be going to the show, not with me, but we, we're thinking about, meeting up beforehand. Just what's good. We had different seats. He had yard seats, which were it was the yard where you could lie on the grass of a hill, which was behind the main theater where the seats were, and we were sitting in the back row, in real life, which I actually didn't know at the point until we got there. But okay, let me get more back on track. So this friend in the dream had come up to me, and he was like, "Yo, Tyler, we're not gonna make it, because Incubus has been on for about an hour now." After Incubus had been on for about an hour now in my dream, and I was consciously in the dream aware that it had been an hour, but it wasn't experiencing it like it was a full hour. He's like, "Yeah, but we got to go back to work." So for some reason, I had to go to work, and Incubus had been on for an hour, and we didn't think that they'd be on that long. So I was going to miss Dave. I was going to miss Dave Chappelle. So we end up, we're all pissed. We're like, damn. So we had to leave right after Incubus finished. Dave was coming on, and we didn't get to see Dave perform. So we go back to work, and all we're talking about at work in my dream is how much it sucked that we had to miss Dave. And everybody at my work seemed to already know that we didn't get to see him because Incubus took so long to play. They took an hour to play. And they were all talking to us about like, oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. You got to miss it. You know, how was the rest of the show? But damn, that sucks. You didn't get to see Dave because you had to come to work. So for whatever reason, this show in my dream was before work is beyond me. But hey, it's a dream. You know, it doesn't usually make sense. And then, you know, long story short, that's about it. That was my dream. So let's move on to real life. We end up getting to the show, right? We get there about, I don't know, I would say the second act was ending. So we see like two other comedians come, and mind you, we're sitting in the back row. You know, we take our seats. We see like two more comedians, which are great. Dimitri Martin, this guy named Hannibal, and then Flight of the Conchords came on. Now, I knew of Flight of the Conchords. I wasn't too familiar with their stuff. I knew that they played music and shit, but I thought they were also very just comedic. I didn't know that their whole set was going to be basically them playing funny songs. Again, I'm not really big into that kind of comedy, and I kind of just wanted them to hurry the fuck up so we could see Dave. But Flight of the Conchords took an hour. That was longer than anyone else's set. They took an hour, and they were playing songs like Incubus played a concert. And they played for an hour, and in my dream, Incubus played for an hour, and that's why we missed Dave in my dream, because they had played so long. Now, how this compares to real life. I believe that after all these sets and after an hour of Flight of the Conchords are playing, it's almost like 9:30 now, and everybody was tired. Everybody was fucking drunk. You know, anyone that was drinking was drunk. Everyone was tired. And everyone was kind of just getting really antsy to see Dave. And, you know, Flight of the Conchords was on for way too long. And I think everyone just wanted them to kind of get off the stage so they could see Dave. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Dave Chappelle didn't walk off stage, but, you know, they were all saying that he walks off stage, but he didn't perform. He came on stage, performed for about 5 minutes, and then for whatever reason, I'm assuming, or because of what he says, is people were heckling him. The audience was a bunch of drunk frat college kids. And people were being really obnoxious, too. People were screaming. People were screaming out, "I'm rich, bitch!" And just, you know, "Rick James, motherfucker!" Like, they're yelling out shit from his skit. And even he said himself he's like, "Yo, I'm here to do stand-up. People shout at me to do things for my show." He's like, "If I was doing things for my show, I would have brought props. But it's just something completely different. I'm doing a stand-up, so just let me perform and stop shouting out things for my show." People continue to do this, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, within 8 minutes of him being there, this motherfucker sits down, lights up a cigarette, and completely stops his act. Completely stops his act. I mean, this was all over the fucking news the next day. You know, TMZ bullshit. I mean, it was in the Hartford Courant, the big newspaper. It was all over online. So saying that Dave had a mental breakdown and that he walked off stage, which isn't true. I think that he was just fed up. I'm sure there was some other stuff going on. I will never know the reason for him doing this. Nobody ever will unless he personally tells you. But I think he was just fed up with the crowd. People were being really obnoxious. He might have been tired, or we were tired. But anyways, he didn't perform. He did not perform. We did not get to see Dave perform, which I was so amped to see. Anyways, it got to about 20 minutes had passed by, and people just started booing him, and, you know, he was talking about how he was going to sit there for his 25-minute deal that he had for the contract. He had to be on stage 25 minutes, and he was going to get up and walk, which he did. Anyways, long story short, what I'm getting at is he did not perform. I missed Dave. I did not get to see him perform, which I was so excited to see. It just sucked. I don't even have words for how much it sucked. But extremely disappointed. And you can see how this relates to my dream. In the dream, there was a concert going on for an hour. And then I missed Dave. I didn't get to see him perform because of that concert. I had no idea that Flight of the Conchords was going to play before Dave, and Dave was the last set. Neither did I know that they were going to play songs for a fucking hour before Dave in real life. And then in the dream, because of the hour concert that went on, didn't get to see Dave. And in real life, I didn't get to see Dave perform. And I don't know if it was because, and, Dave, I'm sure, has respect for the artists. People were booing for the Concourse towards the end, just telling them to get off the stage, saying, we want Dave, we want Dave. And Dave was probably pissed off that this crowd didn't have respect for these artists to finish their set. I don't know what went on. But anyways, and then next day at work, as soon as I walk in, that is all anyone wanted to talk about because they had read it. They knew that we were going to see it. People that weren't going, and they had read it online on their phones as soon as they got to work and shit. As soon as I walk in, that's the first thing that people were talking about. Oh, I can't believe you missed Dave. Like, what happened? Like, you didn't get to see him perform. Blah blah blah. Like, what happened? And then all day, that's all anyone talked about was that whole thing. Just like in my dream, when I got back to work, that's all anyone had to say was, oh, I can't believe you missed Dave. You didn't get to see him perform, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. Okay, hopefully you got the gist of the story and how the two compare. But as you can see, I had this dream the night before the show. The coincidence between the both of these, to me, is just crazy. I don't know. I can't say that I did predict the future, but I would say that's pretty damn close to predicting the future. And dreams are off anyways and all about symbolism and shit. But again, you don't have to believe any of this. But that's just the truth. That's how it happened. And I just wanted to share it with people. I've only told a couple of people about it. But yeah, you believe what you want, but it's creepy, man. Anyways, thanks for listening, anybody who listened to the story, and hopefully you enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm signing off now. See you later, guys.